Hello everybody, my name's Atley. Welcome back to my Satisfactory playthrough. Picking up pretty much where we left off. I've done a little bit around the base, just putting up safety railings, mainly because in behind here there's a void to drop down to on bits of this. I've created a little bit of an area behind my hub to give me some sort of lab space to do some temporary crafting activity. I've also, as you can see, put a awesome sink here. Don't think that was there in the last episode. And it just lets me access the coupons I've got. I've got 22 accumulated so far. And there's a box that I can put stuff in if I choose to. Now, my inventory there tells a story. And that story is based on crystal oscillators. So in the last episode, we did some exploration. And way over, let me get my bearings. It's kind of over in that direction somewhere. If I can find it on the map. It's about here. Not the right marker, but about there. There's a temporary, I'm going to remove that anyway. About here somewhere, there's a couple of quartz nodes, and I put down a temporary biomass burner. I've run back and collected some resources out of that, and that allows me to make crystal oscillators, and I need them to unlock things. But one of the challenges I've got is that's a 3-item recipe, and at the moment I've only got constructors single item, assemblers 2 items. I haven't yet unlocked this manufacturer, which is basically an assembler that takes 4 items. So at the moment, I can only handcraft these. So what I've gone ahead and done is loaded my bags up with the materials needed to make 182. And I am going to craft them while I talk a little bit. So with this series, if I manage to stick to my schedule, I'm going to put this video live maybe Thursday. So it won't interfere with my SnowRunner series, because that Thursday I don't normally post a video. But I'm hoping to get 2 videos. And basically I want to make a bit faster progress on Satisfactory. And it's not so much a YouTube thing. It's Atley the Gamer wants to play this game. And at the minute my save is restricted by how much I can publish as a video. So I'm going to do an extra video basically. And it's going to be a bit of a tidying up episode. I want to unlock some things. But I've also decided that I now have enough hard drives. I'm going to push on to the next tiers. So the reason for that partly is that tier 5 unlocks the manufacturers that I need to automate things like oscillators. Partly it unlocks fuel, but mostly it unlocks railways. And I really want to build a railway network for this game. And I think that's the main focus that I'm going to have for this series, or at least certainly for this next quite a few episodes, because it's a big undertaking. I want to do a rail network that circumnavigates the entire map and goes through all of the biomes. And then I figure that once I've got a rail network, I can then look at where would I put factories to exploit that rail network and get goods back to base and move around the map a bit easier and so on and so forth. So whereas I've held myself back from doing the next space elevator, I want to make a start on that space elevator in this episode. And then probably leave it running to make the things so that I can unlock the next tiers in the next episode. That makes sense? So I'm going to cut to the end of when these oscillators are done. And then we will unlock some stuff with the oscillators, get back into the normal content of my pack, and we'll go and do probably a bit of Caterium and maybe some space elevator work, and start getting ourselves ready to unlock the next tiers. So I'll see you guys when these oscillators are done. Right, so there we are. We've created some oscillators. What I'm going to do is I will chuck the extra plate and cable in here, and that can just go to the sink, and then this box I'll just delete it. And that puts all of my normal stuff back in my inventory, plus I've now got 188 oscillators. So let's have a little look at the quartz line and see what we can now unlock. So this is the most important one. I will be right back. I need some modular frames. So the fact that I just had to run off to my other factory, or to my probably main factory, and get modular frames it points to another thing that needs to be done on this save. Is I need to think about a location to make a centralized and automated storage area where everything gets brought together. So if I want something, I just go to one place, open up a storage box and pull out the bits that I need. So that's another thing that I need to think about doing for this save fairly soon. Now, I want to unlock this one. This is quite an important one. Because what it gives us, just checking that Ada's not going to talk to me. I'm not worried about doing the explosive resonance. Yeah, radar technology would be useful. I'm not going to worry about that yet because I haven't got some of the parts. I could make some motors to do that, but I'm not automating motors. At some point I will do that, but I'll need to automate some motors or handcraft another 50 of them. I don't want to do that just yet. But that buggy that we just unlocked is now, instead of the tractor that we were using in the previous exploration episode, we've now got a buggy. These 5 heavy modular frames. Let's make 5 of those. And again, this is something that I couldn't automate because I don't have manufacturers yet. And it requires 4 items. That buggy is significantly faster than the little truck that we were driving the other day for exploration purposes. It also bounces really well when you loon it off a cliff. So this is a much improved exploration vehicle. So we'll make sure we've always got the bits to make one of those in our bag. That was quite an important unlock for me. I just, in case anybody notices it, I like to have a little bit of belt coming out of storage boxes so I can see it by running past what's in them. And this one's got all 3 copper products. And then this is my original boxes or early days boxes for iron products. But I need to have one area where all of the boxes are pulled together and everything gets piped to one place or transported, or trains eventually. Everything gets pulled to one place so that I've always got access to anything from anywhere. That makes sense? So that's the thing. We've unlocked anything else we can unlock. Let's have a quick look. So quartz. I could unlock radio if I had more modular frames. Not going to worry about that. I need motors, and a handheld beacon is easy. I can craft one of those, but I need 50 more motors. Not going to worry about anything else there. The key one now is I really want, and if I would say need, smart splitters. So I'm going to need some Caterium. And to get some Caterium, we need to set up a little mine. And again, it's going to be temporary, but I want to unlock AI limiters. Make 10 of them or 20 of them, whatever, to unlock smart splitters. And then we can do some smart splitting work. So I know that I will need 2 portable miners. To put down a Mark II miner. And I know that I'm going to want to get some more reinforced iron plates. Which is empty. Well, oh, okay, fine. In that case, that box might as well go. This is my encased concrete beams. Let's delete that and put a concrete one so it doesn't look weird. Rotors. These are on the factory then. So reinforced iron plates from the factory. And we're going to go over to the Caterium node that was identified on the first exploration episode. But I never actually put a miner down on it, because I didn't have the obelisk to get rid of the rock that was on top of it. Rips are in the middle. Let's get a few. Right. And then this belt is backed up because the storage on the end of the belt is full. So what we're going to do is probably take some power and maybe even a foundation. Oh, hello. Careful. Nearly looned it off into the void. We'll take some power. Yeah. So for now, I think I'll put the power... I'll put a power line there. May as well get a shot of that. And power this one from here. And then this power line. Plus... some concrete foundation. You can kind of go that way for me. Now, what's this looking like? So it's hovering above the ground. Maybe if I made that 8-meter version, the 4-meter version, that might look a bit more sensible because it'll clip into the ground and look better. Yeah. I have to think about vegetation or anything that's clipping, but for now, yeah, so that tree's got to go. And I'm just going to run this down. I'm not sure that I like it, but I'm just going to run this down for a minute so I've got power at least coming from the Caterium source. The Caterium is that way if I remember rightly. But that's going to not align very well. There's a little bit of beggars can't really be choosers. And while I think about it, our power is looking brilliant at the moment because we doubled the capacity of the works. Okay, I'm full. So I need to, I think for the minute, I just need to get to the Caterium so I know what my destination is. Let's go and have a look. Can I get up there? Caterium's up on that platform. Something's growling at me. There's a hog somewhere. So as a foundation, if I want to world align it, that's the alignment, which isn't quite what I want. So I'm going to do... I am going to come back here and do it from here. So I know the alignment that I want. And what you can do is put that on top and then to rotate it a little bit. What's a 45 degrees look like? If I were to rotate it 40, that's about right, isn't it? So what I'll do is we'll take a 45 degree. Nope. Silly outlay. I just used that to get the angle. And then we need to put one underneath it. Hit these two off the top. That can clip back into this one. And this is a type of clipping that I don't mind because, as I've said before, as long as it's not Z fighting. But concrete, you could pour into any shape you can do shutters for. So I don't particularly mind this type of clipping when it's foundations. That may not be true for everybody else, but I personally don't mind. So that gives me then a bridge from my steel production to this Caterium site. Now, one of the things I'm going to do is get rid of some of these rocks because they're a bit of an eyesore and they'll poke through my foundation blocks. And it's fun. Right, so this is now, apart from the fact that I'm coming in at the wrong angle from there, let's have a look at my Caterium site. So we want to put a miner down. Once again, all of this is temporary, but this miner, without overclocking it, will do 120 Caterium per minute. So let's now put down a smelter. Check the Caterium recipe. Takes in 45. I am gonna want to get some overclock. So let's assume that this is overclocked to do 270 and maximize a tier 3 belt. Because the maths works out quite well then. So 270 Caterium divided by 45 is a nice round 6. So we'll need 6 smelters. And then the output of those 6 smelters, which I think it was 15, was it? Wrong thing. Caterium. Yeah, so a 270 belt feeding 6 of them will produce 90 Caterium ingots. And then 90 Caterium ingots to make quick wire. 90 divided by 12. Well, yeah. So let's say 90 divided by 12 is 7.5 or 8 constructors, but 8 times the 60 output is 480, which is the next tier of belt that I haven't unlocked yet. So we'll have a little bit of surplus if we do that, but let's do it anyway. So we're going to want, let's say the belt out of here would come to that center line and forward 2. Looks as straight as I can make it. And then off this center line we'll have 6 smelters. That bothers me the way that's clipping through the grass, so that needs to be sorted out. Probably didn't mean to do that bit, but that's fine. So here I'm gonna go only one. Yeah, so I suppose a 1 meter ramp would be fine. And then how does that look? Floating slightly. Might be temporary, but I've still got standards. So 4 blocks gives me 3 smelters each side. With room to handle merging the result back together. And again, it's going to be the manifold pattern, but a splitter for each of those. A Mark III belt into there. And then a smelter on the outside of each of these. All looks uniform and fine. And then Mark 1 belts are fine because each of them's only going to take 45. And then the outputs are going to be merged to come forward. Mark 1 belt. Mark 1 belt is fine because they're only doing 15 out each. And then I think I'll bring the result this way. And by this point it's 45, so Mark 1 belt to there is fine. Mark 1 belt to there is fine. Then it needs to be Mark 2 going onwards. Let's replace that one. And let's put that in. And then I've got a power pole here. We'll connect to a power pole there. Which will connect. That will go to there. And then there are 6 smelters, but if I put all of the powers in the middle, so if I put a Mark 2 pole there, they will all connect to it because it's got 7 slots. Bit quick and dirty, but it should work just fine. And then I am going to get this power connected up because I do want to start seeing things flow. And then this will start just a small jump in consumption. What I think I'm going to do here is put a 4-meter ramp there and just let it clip through this concrete. That'll be fine. I don't really think I've got enough height to do one of these. That's probably the neatest thing to do. See if that looks a bit neater. Why won't that go into there then? Have I done this the wrong way? No. That's the output of the merger. Doesn't want to go in. Overlapping clearance. So there's a clipping issue to do with it. Yeah, I didn't like it anyway. Let's just see about having a slightly sloped ramp. I've got some weirdness happening here. But anyway, let's see why I haven't got power. Oh, I haven't set recipes. Fine. So the mine is working, but I haven't set. But they're all going to produce a combined output of 90 ingots of Caterium for me. And then I've got to work out where I want to put 8 constructors. Not too bothered, plenty of room. Let's get rid of that one. Probably want to raise it up a little bit. That enough? Why is it playing silly around here? Why won't it expand off that while I'm standing on top of it? Oh well. Gonna do it now. Weird. And then I can have a Mark III lift. Input at the bottom. Coming up and sending its output this way. Mark III belt. To there. And Mark III belt from there. Back this way. I don't understand it. My belts don't want to join from that side. I bet this won't go into there now. Why wouldn't that work? Belt is too long. Why won't that join up to that? Alright, I exited and saved my game and it's worked. Bit strange, but it's worked. That's what matters. So I've got the capacity now for 4 constructors. So let's just say I'm going to put a constructor. Let's have a look at the recipe again. This one produces more out than I can manage. So this is producing 60. And I can only do 270 on a belt. So I can only do... if I put 8 constructors down, I'm going to need 4 on each belt for output. That's fine. Okay. We'll do it. So we'll have 8 constructors, please. All taking input from the center. I'm going to space them so they don't collide. And then turn them around. Then I need splitter down the middle. Usual story. Manifold option. Input on the back. That's going to do wire. So 12 input. So Mark 1 belts for the constructors. And Mark 3 belts down the spine. Mark 2s would do, but this time copy and get that pasted to all 8. And then I need to do power. Well, I need to merge the outputs. So that can feed the manifold. And then they need power. And again, power's down the middle, but I've got 8 this time. So that one to there. Get these powered up. And that can join to the one that'll split in the middle. And then that is going to be all of my constructors are running. Merge the output. Now, what am I going to do here? What I think I might do is one line of them. I'll merge back this way. And they produce 60 each. So Mark 1 belts to the constructors. And Mark 3 belt. Mark 3 belt, and on this line what I'm going to do is put down a sink. So one of these lines will just be fed straight to a sink. Make sure that isn't clipping. Nope, that looks fine. Oh, it's off the back, so let's just put a couple more foundations down. Let's chainsaw this stuff out of the way. I'm nervous that there's going to be spiders underneath places like this, but we'll manage. And then a Mark 3 belt can take that straight into, and all 4 of those are just always going to fill into that awesome sink. Power from there to there. No. Just cleaner to take power off the back one. So power from there out to here. Nope, here. That's straight. Yeah, that looks straight. Then that one can feed the sink. So then we're now feeding, so we made 2 coupons since the start of this episode anyway, just because of the iron factory. But we're now sending some Caterium to the sink as well. And repeat the pattern of those mergers on the other side. And the output from this. Mark 3. There. There. Now, don't know what I really want to do with it this side, because I kind of want to get it back to base. But that's a bit convoluted because this hasn't been designed with that in mind. A couple of trees are going to have to go. So put it to there. And then I'll have a lift here. Into there. And I'm just going to have to do something a bit ugly for a minute. Just route it around the side of this platform. And then here I'm going to work out how to do this. So I don't really want to interfere with that belt. But what I want is to put a... That ought to be a Mark III as well. Put a Mark III with the input at the bottom. Hard to not make this ugly. I'll run up there so I can see the height I want. Have to be a little bit of a guess at height, but I think if I do it there, and then I can do these stackable conveyor poles, something like that. Is that the right height to come into there flat? I guessed that fairly well. So then I can stack the Caterium above and it'll look a little bit better here. It just looks a little bit ugly down the bottom. But it's temporary. Get rid of that block. That was just there to allow me to get this over the top of that. And I can kind of so that needed to be Mark III anyway. I can kind of join those up and then do that. And then this can come into there. And that arrangement I'm not massively fond of, but it's working. And it just gets stuff up to my platform. And then that'll do for now. Gets the Caterium back to factory. I'll upgrade those to Mark III in a bit. But why have we just done that? Well, if I put down a MAM, Caterium now, I can unlock AI limiters. Boom, done. Having done that, I now need 10 AI limiters. So if I put down a temporary craft bench, I should be able to build. So I've got enough material on me to build 25, and they do use copper sheet, so that's good. That's something other than pipe work to use copper sheet for. I'll let these 25 craft and be right back. So the whole point of that piece of work was that I wanted smart splitters, and smart splitters let you select which product goes down each path out of a splitter. So the standard splitters just split things a straightforward 1/3 goes to each way, or well, depending on how many connections you got. But if I then go back to the MAM, so now that I've crafted those, if I go back to the MAM, I can now unlock smart splitters. 3 seconds. Boom. That's useful. Get rid of that. Now what we've got is the ability. This is why this is important. Put another box down next to this one. And at the minute, this box contains pipes and beams, both coming down this single belt. But now I can build the third type, which is the smart splitter. Put one straight onto there. Boom. Now what that's going to do is I can configure, say, for argument's sake, back to here and into there. And you can see here, having connected it up, nothing is going down the right path. And there's nothing on the left path. But I can now configure center output. I want to be steel beams. And then right output, I want to be steel pipes. And now pipes coming down this will go into that line. And beams will come this line. Now, at the minute, it's not quite working because this is still backed up. But if we take... So we've said this one's beams. If I take pipes out and put them into there. So now I'm getting from a single mixed feed. I'm now segregating those into the correct channels to put them in where I need them. Which is ridiculously useful. What I will also do for now, temporarily, is I'll have another maybe I'll bring it as a Mark III. Input at the top, yes. So we'll line that up with there. And have it going that way. And then this one can go to there. Out this way too. And up to the right height. And then... Oh, no, no. Isn't the right height. Probably as close as I can make it though. No, I don't like that. Get rid of that. And then that can just come like so. And straight into... That's not a straight line, is it? Is that a straight line? No, it's not. There, off to, and get it pointing in the right direction. Now it should be a straight line. So that brings my Caterium to a box storage here. Useful to me, and I'm just going to quickly upgrade these belts because otherwise I will forget. That bit's Mark III, and that was a Mark III. So now, apart from the fact I'm not massively happy about how elegant the bit down there is, that is bringing me oodles of Caterium. It looks quite cool the way it's going down that belt. I'll just follow the ride like a roller coaster up. Nice. Right, so that's a little bit of progress. There is one more thing that I need to do. I didn't get to do space elevator parts, but this is necessary for space elevator parts. So we'll do those at the start of the next episode. What I need to do is, I've got up here rotors, reinforced iron plates, and modular frames all being produced. Slowly, admittedly, but all being produced. But what I need is stators, and at the moment I'm not producing stators. And they need pipes and wire. Seriously? Okay. So if you can bear with me, here's the thing. This is so you'll have to bear with me. I'm going to try and explain my thinking. I'm not saying that this is too complicated for people by any stretch, but my thinking on this is doing my head in a little bit. But I've got here, if you recall, I've got a line of 5 constructors that are producing screws, and then that output belt is not going anywhere. So this is wasted basically. But what I could do, so I need to drain the output line. So for temporaries, let's think about putting a awesome sink here and draining this line into that sink, and then put some power to that sink from there. And that is temporary until this line drains. But if I now go... Yeah, we're just getting rid of the screws. But if I then go to each of the 5 that are feeding that line and change the recipe to the alternate wire that takes iron ingots as the input, so now, gradually, as that backlog clears, we're going to start seeing wire come down this line. There you go. And that is coming from here. So some of them have already cleared the backlog, and the screws, and we're now sending wire to the sink as well. But that's kind of fine. I want to get to the point that there's no more screws. I think that's it, done. I think everything now that's going down that belt is wire. So, get rid of that, 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 that. Everything to do with that line, including these temporary things. And now what we've got is about a Mark II belt's worth of wire coming to here. We will put a floor hole there. A Mark III on that, and then I need to can I do this? Yep. Parkour. Right, so this now has a Mark II worth of wire. So we use a Mark... I'm using Mark 3 belts just because. And then we've got these new ceiling brackets, which I think are brilliant. I love them. And we're going to do some... So I don't want to interfere with that pipe that's already over the ceiling there. So we'll do something about here. That's straight. Yeah. Why am I doing this, you wondering? So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to put a normal splitter on my pipe output. So half of my pipes will now go another way. I'm not bothering with a smart splitter. I'll put a lift. Mark 1 would have done the job. I'll do a lift. And then we're going to put a lift off the end of there, coming down. And then somewhere in here, we're going to have us an assembler. Just one. Because I'm not, this is all temporary, but it's just going to give me some stators. So this is going to run stators, which needs steel pipes and wire. So we've got some steel pipes coming from here. I don't care that it's not many, because it doesn't really affect me. A Mark 1 belt is definitely fine for that, but I'm still going to do it as Mark 2. Up to the maximum height, and then straight in. And then this one, from here, straight line. Is that? Nope. Get rid of. Way more than I need. There we go. Way more wire than I need for a single assembler. That assembler now needs a bit of power. And there we go. We've got some stators being produced. And I'll do another box. I may as well put them that way, even if it means that I've got to take my output around to go back in. And then this box will accumulate stators slowly, but it will, you know, I'm going to, this is running, as I've said before, this is running as a server. So by the next time I play, even though that's not getting enough steel pipes to be impressive, it is still going to fill that box up with stators. And that'll allow me to do some stuff for the next episode. So a little bit, and this is the problem, it's a little bit all over the place, because a lot of what I'm doing is still temporary, because I need to unlock progression to get the better recipes to do everything else that I want to do. So I'm quite happy that what we've got done today is quite good productive progress, even if it isn't building finished shiny factories. Because the point of the game at the moment for me is progression, progression, progression. Once I've unlocked enough stuff, I can then think about building more interesting factories. But for the stage I am at the minute, it's just a case of I need to unlock things to allow me to progress. So that's useful, because I've now got a bead of Caterium. I've unlocked the buggy, which will allow me to explore faster. I've got some Caterium running, and I've got a simple little Stator battery running into a box. So that'll give me all of the raw materials, I think, to do the space elevator that I need for the next episode. So next episode will be focused on the space elevator. I hope to see you in that next episode. I hope you enjoyed this one. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. But in the meantime, thank you very much and goodbye.